nice.
How dare he try to tell me how to raise my kids after he have abandoned us? He has some nerve.
Y'all have lives to live yourself, and she can't run her life, her home, and your home too.
You know what? Had you been home long enough to help me to raise them, it wouldn't be such a problem. But where were you?
What
I'm
did
there
you
being in the street,
What did you do
doing
all
whatever
day?
you were
What
big
did you
enough
do
to do.
all day long?
What did you do?
It's wild how a family can look perfectly put together on the outside, but the minute the real story leaks out, everything flips. The Braxtons were always presented as this talented, tight-knit sisterhood. But lately, people are realizing the truth behind the scenes might have been way darker than anyone imagined. And instead of everyone pointing the finger at Tamar like they usually do, the spotlight is sliding towards someone no one expected. Miss Ida, every time Tamar posts anything online, people rush to call her dramatic or accuse her of doing too much. It's like she can't breathe without someone dragging her. But this time, Tamar is speaking in a way that hits completely different. She's saying her personality, the reactions, the loudness, the fire, didn't just appear out of nowhere. She's pointing straight back to how she was raised. And that confession shook the internet because Tamar didn't just talk about healing. She opened up about years of emotional weight she's been carrying in silence.
I don't steal anything.
You don't. You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them.
Oh,
a few times.
Who? What man?
You not get the lead.
Dirty low down ass bitch.
Oh, you're such a liar.
She explained that Miss E held on to resentment for years, especially toward their father, and growing up in that kind of environment shaped the entire house. Hearing Tamar be that honest is rare, and you can tell she's tired pretending everything was perfect. And let's be real, Tamar has never hidden her life. Her marriage issues with Vince, the chaos with JR, the tension with her sisters, the industry feuds, all of it played out right in front of the world. She never pretended things were neat, even when it made her look messy. But this year, she took things to another level. She called out Funky Deneva, suggested someone might have tried to hurt her after a night out, and even hinted at alleged connections involving men tied to Tony. The internet froze because Tamar doesn't it, she detonates. Back in the early Braxton family values days, that same explosive personality made her the breakout star. Her jokes, her reactions, her one-liners were unforgettable. But as time went on, every new outburst made people wonder if she'd ever slow down. And then just when folks think they've seen it all, she shakes the room again. But this time she flipped the whole narrative by suggesting Missy might have created the emotional environment that made everyone so reactive. That revelation made viewers rethink everything. Because if Tamar grew up carrying emotional wounds she never healed, maybe the problem child label was never accurate. And realizing that changes the way people see the entire family, that a lot of fans are honestly exhausted with her drama. She keeps saying she's healing, but many believe she's spiraling instead. Some even say she drains every room she walks into. And she's almost 50, but still falling out with people left and right. That pattern alone has people thinking she's not changing anytime soon. But in true Tamar fashion, she isn't staying silent. She's flipping the entire conversation back onto everyone else, especially her mother, Evelyn. She's saying the family issues didn't start with her. They started long before she was grown. And she claims this is the first time she's fully connected her behavior to the way she was raised. She talked about watching her mother hold on to pain for decades and how that resentment affected the whole household. The biggest example is Evelyn never fully recovering from her breakup with Michael Braxton. That pain shaped how every sister learned to navigate conflict. Their parents' divorce happened more than 20 years ago, but the bitterness never faded. Even now, people say Evelyn's anger toward Michael is intense, and it shaped the emotional tone of the family long-term. Tamar and her sisters didn't just witness their mother hurting, they absorbed all of it. Even Tony, who plays it calm and polished, has had her messy moments. She's just better at keeping them off camera, and then it gets heavier. During the divorce, Evelyn allegedly made the kids choose sides. Anyone who stayed close to their dad got frozen out. And that tension followed Tracy for years because she refused to cut off her relationship with Michael.
Can I ask you something, Miss Evelyn? Do you know what her pain is? Because the only reason a person would behave in this manner...
We're not going to throw this behavior word around again. We're not going to do that. She does not have a behavior problem, and that's not fair.
First of all, your finger in my face is not going to work for me.
But the name calling is not going to work for me. because I don't appreciate you keep throwing out these names. That is what about my disrespect? All I have been is disrespectful.
Tamar. This is disrespectful.
I've been called.
Wait a minute!
Tracy lived closest to him in Maryland and kept that bond strong, no matter how Evelyn felt. And for what people say, Evelyn held on to that resentment all the way up until Tracy passed, which makes everything even more heartbreaking. When you connect the dots, a much bigger picture appears. One Tamar is only now daring to reveal. Being the youngest added another twist. Tamar clung to her mother during all that chaos. Anything she did, said, or planned, she ran it by Missy first. That bond wasn't just close, people now call it emotional dependency. And that followed Tamar into adulthood. But Tamar says the issue wasn't just resentment. Miss E liked being the dominant voice in the room. She believed she was always right. And if Tamar disagreed, she got shut down fast. Evelyn expected full loyalty, especially from Tamar. And whenever someone pushed back, she reminded them she raised 6 kids alone. That guilt hit Tamar the hardest. Growing up with that pressure shaped how she reacts to everything today. And what's wild is the tension is still there. After decades, Evelyn still carries anger, and it spills into every emotional moment between the sisters. Arguments, misunderstandings, it all traces back to unresolved wounds. Now that Tamar is talking openly, people are starting to agree with her. They're realizing Miss E might have unintentionally created patterns of emotional confusion that shaped her daughter's behavior. People always assumed Tamar was the problem. But maybe she was just the loudest reflection of deeper issues in the house that I even saw someone say, I won't make a list of villains nobody recognizes and Evelyn Braxton is going to the top. Harsh, but a lot of people feel she represents a type of parent who loves deeply but also causes emotional damage without ever admitting it. Now people are rewatching old clips with fresh eyes. They're noticing how often Evelyn inserted herself into her daughter's issues, even when it had nothing to do with her. And every time the tension skyrocketed instead of calming down. There were moments when Tamar tried to express real emotions, fear, frustration, hurt, and the conversation immediately shifted to Evelyn talking about her own pain. Tamar's feelings never got space. And when you grow up unheard, you learn to yell just to be acknowledged. Miss E's influence didn't just shape the house, it shaped the sisters' relationships with each other. Every disagreement came with extra layers: guilt, loyalty, old wounds. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That ACH sister had her own survival method. Tony balancing fame with family pressure, Tawanda constantly playing mediator, Trina carving her own lane, Tracy fighting to be included, Tamar drowning in overwhelming emotion. None of those patterns created peace, just cycles. And Tamar's comments now make people realize the foundation wasn't sibling rivalry. It was inherited chaos. When a parent never heals, the daughters learn to function in chaos too. Suddenly, old clips of side-eye, awkward silence, and tension make a lot more sense. People also point out how often Evelyn used her role as a single mother as a shield. Anytime someone disagreed, she reminded them of all she sacrificed. And while her sacrifices were real, it made it nearly impossible for the daughters to challenge her without feeling guilty. Now viewers are questioning whether Tamar's dramatic personality is really her, or if it's the result of years of emotional pressure and survival. The Braxtons always looked polished on the outside, but once the layers peeled back, the cracks were impossible to ignore. Missy pushed unity so hard it stopped feeling like love and started feeling like obligation. Hurt. Too bad. Stick together. Need space. Not allowed. People online say Evelyn didn't just want closeness, she demanded it, even when it wasn't healthy. And that pressure created a cycle the sisters couldn't escape.
That she thought was right.
Pitiful lie, too.
And as long as you agree with her, she's fine. And it's the same thing with y'all. If y'all don't agree with her, she is pissed. And it's time for y'all to stop letting your mother run.
And here's the part people don't want to admit. Viewers are starting to believe the Braxton sisters love each other deeply, but they might not actually like each other the way they claim. Love doesn't erase personality clashes. And in this family, those clashes were explosive. And right in the middle of the storm was Tamar. She reacted fast, spoke louder than everyone else, and refused to sugarcoat anything. That made her the easiest one to blame. Anything went wrong, Tamar must have said something. Tamar must have started it. But now that people see the deeper family story, they're realizing Tamar wasn't the root. She was just the one who refused to stay silent in a house full of unresolved tension. Being outspoken in that environment turns you into the scapegoat. Tamar just happened to be the loudest truth teller, not the villain. Now fans are finally asking the real question. Was Tamar unfairly blamed all these years? Or did she contribute to the chaos too? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is far from over. And before you head out, hit like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.